Welcome back to Dolor Factor Live, and we're talking about lots of things under the sun. I say under the sun, but we've spoken about the moon, we've spoken about the soil, we've spoken about the plants, and I have actually had a comment here about my guest knowing his stuff. Well, of course, that's one of the main reasons that he is here, because he knows his stuff and then some. Barry, we have some questions coming in, but first I'd like to just remind viewers that we've now opened the telephone lines. You can see the number there on your screen. Please take the time to call. Give us a call. Don't start writing questions, because I don't always get round to asking all the questions to the guests when they're here. All right, so take this opportunity. You don't always have an opportunity to speak to someone who's so wise in this area. And if there's anything at all that you want him to repeat, then please take this opportunity. Now, I have a statement here. When you talk about food wastage, you can view what's happening in the various hotels when food is being disposed of. Lots of food, and the staff cannot consume the food that is left over on the buffet, which is very sad. So it looks as if this person is talking from experience. I'm assuming that. And I've asked a couple of general managers about this before, in terms of what happens to the food. Now, I have been told that a lot of the hotels actually give it to charity under very strict measures. But let's go to the phone. Hello, welcome to Dolor Factor Live. Hello, you're live on DBS and Dolor Factor Live. All right, we've lost you there. Perhaps you can come back. Now, we were talking about the wastage in hotels, and I suppose it's a difficult thing when you see so much food wasting. But I remember in England, in Marks and Spencer, a big shop there, they do clothing, but they also do food, and they are very particular with how they distribute their food. And if it's something where the sell-by date is that present day or something, I think they can give it to a charity, but it's still measured properly. An environmental food officer comes in and it's measured properly. They can't just give things away. So I wonder how, you know, the hotels do, you know, how, because it'd be a shame to just throw it away. Most probably they maybe go to farmers. Would you think, Barry?
Well, what would be good for them to do if they want is, in the interest of the landscaping, they can take some of the kitchen swale, especially the plant tissues, and they can make composting, which is a form of organic soil. They can make compost heaps, which they can then use to have a healthier soil component where they do most of the landscaping, so all the beautiful flowers will benefit from it. Yeah, and it's just a simple process of taking some you can take some heavy twigs, put it at the bottom so that it allows aeration. Then they can put the green kitchen swale and most of the green planting material, like old banana skins, old plantain skins, put it on top of it. Then they can put some dry crop refuse like dried grass or something on top of it, then some little soil, and then repeat it, then cover it. After about 2 weeks, the earthworms come in play, they start to decompose it, and then you turn it around, you plow it sort of, turn it around, and for the next 2 weeks, and you keep doing that until everything becomes like soil, but it's high organic material and it's very nutritious for the plant. Then they can take that and they can put it around the flower plants and all the different landscaping activities. It's gonna be done.
I suppose someone who knows their stuff would automatically do that, I'm assuming. But what you've just said, we could do ourselves, couldn't we?
Definitely. Right at home you can do that. Right at home.
I've got a response here. I'm not sure exactly which area they're coming from, but they're saying, in relations to the hotel, the goal is not to waste food. Great chefs know how to use everything.
That's right.
So everything can be prepared in different creative ways, but of course the chef needs to be creative. Okay, so that's another way of looking at it. Okay, and here's another question. Again, let me just remind you, you can call us as opposed to writing these things down. But here is another question. What brings mosquitoes and what can stop them?
Well, leaving your drums uncovered or leaving empty containers outside that rainwater falls in it, because the mosquitoes need water to breed. They have to lay the eggs in the water, and then the eggs become larvae, and then it turns into another mosquito and flies and bites us. So one of the first thing they can do is to make sure that they have no uncovered containers that can harvest with rainwater and have it out in the open. They should turn it over or get rid of it, take it out of the open atmosphere. The other thing they can do is make sure in-house itself, when they're watering the plants, don't leave excess water, don't water the plant too much, that is excess water around the base of the pot, because mosquitoes also go and lay eggs in there. And
you know, as you said that I have a plant. I'm not very good on the names of the plants, but every time I go to it and I water it, lots of mosquitoes, they just appear from nowhere.
oh my goodness! Well,
What am I doing wrong? I'm putting too much water? I don't know. As you said that,
it
I
means
remember.
that they are breeding somewhere in your home. That means there's water. There's stagnant water somewhere in your home. Now, guess what? I realized that one time I was those dish racks. When you put the dishes on the rack, in England normally people would wipe the dishes and then put them on the rack. But in Malaysia normally we just put them on the rack, right? What I find happening though is sometimes at the bottom of the rack, this sort of plate that the rack sits on, one time I lifted it up and realized just the water falling from the dishes to dry, that there were so many mosquito larvae right under there. So now I take it and make it a habit to every now and then lift it up to make sure and throw out the water. Or I put holes in the plastic plate so that the water seeps through and gets in the drain.
And you know, only recently I noticed that I have a powder room that I don't use very often. And I think I was away and I came back and I went to use the washroom and I looked in the bowl and I thought, what's happening here? And of course there were mosquitoes. They were just because the toilet had not been flushed in weeks.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
and I think that's something as well people can think about as well.
Yes.
Perhaps if you're leaving your home for a long length of time, maybe flush it and disinfect it before you leave.
Definitely.
You know, so that doesn't happen. Because I was thinking, what's happening in my bowl? And I realized that was what was happening. The water in the toilet bowl had remained there.
Any stagnant body of water they find, they will use. But what I find also interesting, we have a little friend in the house that a lot of us hate. When we see him, we get scared, we get frustrated, and we call him the Mabia. Notice this night lizard. That you see, they just stay and fall from the roof and fall on you and stick on you.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it also feeds on mosquitoes, you know. Having it in your house is not really a bad thing because it also feeds on mosquitoes. So it would actually be on the wall there. When the mosquito lands, it will actually go after it. It mosquitoes, it eats moths, it eats butterflies. Most of the night, it night creatures. Yeah, so it's also a beneficial organism to have in your house.
I was always told that lizards were always good for their environment. You know, that's all I was always told about it. Apart from, you know, a lot of people don't like the look of them because they're, you know, running along on their stomachs, which, you know, depending on your religion, you would think that, you know, it's related to the serpent. Yes. But I think that there are. Each insect, everything on this world has its purpose.
Has its purpose, yes.
It has its purpose.
Yes, it has purpose.
You know?
Yes. Additionally, there's a caller that asks about controlling insects in his garden.
Yeah.
I want to further respond to him or her to say that another simple homemade apparatus or device you can use is insects are attracted to yellow, the bright yellow colors. So what he can also do is, if he has a small bed of whatever vegetable, you can simply take 2 sticks, put on each end, tie a rope across the bed of garden, and put a yellow plastic plate or a yellow plastic bag, but the plate or the bag, dip it in some oil or in some grease and tie it over the garden. What you'll find happening is the insects will be attracted to the bright yellow color. It will look like a flower to them. Once they fly to it, they stick to the grease or the oil and then they die right there. So it helps you. It's a natural, easy way of controlling insect population. Another thing I see some people doing is they get a yellow bucket, fill it with oil, and put oil on the inside, and they leave it in the center of the garden. What you find happening is the insects are attracted again to the yellow color. They go in the bucket and they drown in the oil. Right. So all of those simple home remedies that one can use at home to control the pest insects. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, Barry, you've given a lot of solutions there, a lot of things that people have got the equipment at home, they don't realize that they can use it. Yellow is okay. Yellow is the color then.
Bright color, yes.
Okay. Well, of course, we're going to a break now, and when we come back, we have just a few more minutes. If you have any questions that you would like to ask Barry, as I said, you know, time just flies by, and when he leaves, you cannot ask him the question again. So take the opportunity, and when we come back, we'll choose tonight's winners. So this is Dolor Factor Live. We'll see you soon.